To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
And some of the earning candidates as well. We are being joined by Pankaj Pandey, Head Research at ICICIdirect.com. Sharan as well as Chandan Taparia is also here with us. A very good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for your time. And Pankaj, firstly, a lot of these earning candidates have trickled in with respect to Reliance, seems like a mixed bag, while HDFC Bank a bit of a disappointment, but ICICI Bank did post good numbers. How do you think that the stocks are going to react on these particular numbers, and how will the market reaction be like for all these three?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. I think I can't comment on ICICI Bank being part of the same group. But on the HDFC Bank side, I think the company, the bank delivered a steady quarter, and right now their strategic focus is also shifting from balance sheet consolidation to accelerating credit momentum. While there could be margin pressure in the near term because of the deposit lag in the deposit pricing, but we feel that HDFC Bank came out with a steady set of numbers. ROAs are at about 1.8 odd percent, so we don't see any challenge in maintaining a buy on HDFC Bank. Earlier target was 2200. On the Reliance side, again, mixed set of numbers. Good part on the Geo is that overall the 5G subscribers have been sort of inching up, and that will sort of drive the data usage for the company. And so that, and again, there the key monitorable again is the kind of price hike we expect. As of now, we are building about 10% kind of a hike in the tariffs. So that remains to be watched out for. I think overall, on the retail side, I think things have been sort of a mixed bag. The numbers have been slightly lower than what has been the expectation. But I think overall, most of your big heavyweights have come up with a steady set of numbers. So I really do not see major challenges in terms of market, in terms of downtick. But yes, we are still sort of lacking triggers, especially when you look at the banking and the IT as a pack, which again is nearly 50% of your nifty. And there's hardly or there's no update on the tariff as well as such. So which means that this is the third week of consolidation. Probably this consolidation is going to continue for some more period of time.
All right. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for that. And yes, my bad that I asked you on ICICI Bank. But Chandan, good morning. And why don't you help us with the levels that one should be watching out for HDFC Bank as well as ICICI Bank? Because interestingly, on Friday itself, we have seen a bit of a downtake on HDFC Bank, while ICICI Bank, amidst that market as well, the stock was holding on to 0.5% of gain. What sort of a stock reaction should we expect, as well as help us understand the key levels that you should be watching out for?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. So HDFC Bank has been consolidating in a range from last almost 12 to 15 trading session where it was finding support near 1970. But on Friday, it closed below the same, witnessed profit booking. But the good part is it closed near its 50-day exponential moving average. And that moving average is working well from last almost 85 trading session. So as of now, the structure is slightly negative, but multiple supports are visible near 1900 marks. In fact, we have seen some put writing activities as well. And in the last couple of months, the took support near 1900 level as well. So for me, as of now, the major support will be at 1900 and hurdle will be at 2000 because of the call writing activity. So 1900 to 2000, 2022 is going to be the trading range or trading levels for HDFC Bank. Talking about ICICI Bank, the stock has been consolidating in a range. The good part is that sustained buying interest is visible near 1400 with some put writing, but at the same time, multiple hurdles are visible at 1467 kind of level. So I believe 1400 to 1467 is going to be the trading range, but here bias might be slightly positive. Those who are looking for buying position can use the support of 1400 for an upside target towards 1467. If we compare both the counter, I'll be more positive on the ICICI Bank than HDFC Bank, looking at its price structure as of now.
Okay, so that's the take on the banks and the banking stocks that Chandan is liking at the moment. Sharan, what's your take on Reliance on the charts? Now, there was a patch in the middle where we saw some stock moves coming in. Rather than that, Reliance largely has been quite lackluster. Any take on Reliance on the charts?
So, Sneha, again, the stock is consolidating just below the 20-day EMA. And given the results, it's actually mixed bag. So you might see a little dip towards maybe 1450, 25 rupees from here. And I would suggest to all traders, investors, at least wait 15 to 30 minutes after market opening before making any kind of decision. Because the structure is still intact. We have not broken a lower low anytime. So I don't see that kind of a fall in Reliance or even HDFC Bank as a matter of fact. And I think ICICI Bank can actually gap up today. So Reliance, I would suggest wait for 15-20 minutes, a good support of 1450, that's the 50-day moving average, EMA. And around about that level, I think it has a good support also, and maybe it can reverse from that level.
All right, so that's the chart check on all these three majors, but some of the other earnings we also had. JSW Steel did come out with the earnings, and Pankaj, this time all the numbers seems to be above than what the street was penciling in. But the key fact remains that going ahead, will these steel companies will have some bit of a respite from the prices as well, and are we going to see the prices moving up? Help us with your take on JSW Steel and how will the whole metal pack will actually take the earnings, and can we expect a positive stock reaction to this?
So on JSW Steel, overall the EBITDA per ton was somewhere about 10,800. We were expecting about 12,800, so slight lower than what we would have anticipated. There was lower volumes largely because of the maintenance shutdown. Now things will start looking even better from Q2 onwards, because that is when we'll have volume growth also, and then possibly some benefit of the lower coking coal prices. But JSW specifically, the stock trades at 8 times EV by EBITDA, so it's already trading at rich multiples. So our sense is that there's a limited upside from current levels. What we like more is Tata Steel, while it also has witnessed maintenance shutdown. But I think this year you will have new capacities coming up, so you'll see good amount of volume growth. And bulk of the EBITDA is now driven by the domestic operation. So Tata Steel is something which we like more in the ferrous space with a target price of 200.
Okay, so Tata Steel emerging as the top pick in the ferrous space. So time now to get some tradable ideas this morning. Chandan, you go first. What are some stocks that you are keeping on your radar this morning?
Yes, so first trade will be buy on SDFC AMC. In fact, we have seen strong momentum in the counter or selective AMC or capital market stocks are doing well. The stock really did well by more than 8 to 9% in the last week, has been making higher tops, higher bottom. I believe the relative strength could continue to play an important role to drive the stock on the higher side. We have seen surge in the open interest as well as the trading and the delivery volume, which indicates the bullish sentiment in the counter. So with support of 54.50, expecting this counter to head towards 5900 marks. While one sell idea with the change in the market structure as selective sectors are finding sustained supply pressure. So HL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, will be on the negative side. We have seen a breakdown of last 8 weeks. The stock has given a decisive hold below 4800 marks, and because of that some profit booking could be there. So recommending to sell on Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HL, with hurdle at 47.88. Stock can go down towards 44.40 kind of levels.
All right, so one buy and one sell coming in from Chandan this morning. But Sharan, is that the same strategy that you would also like to adopt? Any sell ideas today?
No, Shishi, I think the market is a buy on dips market, and this is the best time to accumulate. We had a very great show in the morning. Even Mohanty sir said this. This is the time to accumulate and not actually make monies in shorts. So I would suggest a buy on Muthoot Finance. Despite a 3-week decline in Nifty, the stock is holding on its own and it's trading about a 20-day moving average. And looking at the price structure, I think it's fit for a good breakout towards 2800, even higher levels. So you can buy at current price with a target of 2740 and 2820 with a stop loss of around 2580 on a daily closing basis. Again, steel is something that's looking very nice. So I've selected Tata Steel. Even on the chart, it has shown good reversal from the 50-day EMA. And I think the momentum can continue today as well. So you can go long on Tata Steel with a target of 168 to 174 with a stop loss of 156 on a daily closing basis.
Okay, so that's the take on some of the stocks that Sharan is liking this morning. But Pankaj, also give us a sense of the kind of moves we've seen from banking earnings other than the Nifty 50 group of stocks. We've usually drawn this parallel between mid-cap and large-cap IT, but now can we draw the same parallel for large-cap and mid-cap banks, wherein you believe mid-cap banks could outperform the large-cap banks this time around?
So within banks, I think relatively PSU banks are looking better, largely because they're not losing market share. I think for them, the proportion of external benchmark link rate is lesser. So for them, the margin pressure is also lesser. Credit growth wise, they are sort of doing better. So PSU banks are a relative better bet. But I think even some of the NBFCs which have sort of come out with numbers, I think L&T Finance looked okay to us. We have seen quarter on quarter slight improvement in the margins while the growth is slightly lower. But some of these NBFCs like L&T Finance look attractive to us. In general, I think for banks or bigger banks to sort of perform, you need good amount of FI flows, which is yet not coming. And I think till the time US market keeps on doing well, making new highs, the money will not really come to emerging market. And that is where probably the large private sector banks are sort of stuck. But our sense is that this margin pressure will start to sort of wane in the second half. And that is where things will start looking up for banks on a broad-based basis. But still that time, it will be more of a stock-specific move, especially PSU banks are relatively better or some of the NBFCs are looking better.
Okay, so that's the take left for the markets to open, but a lot of earnings will be in focus. And Pankaj, one of the other banks that will be in focus today is actually Bandhan Bank. How do you see the numbers this time around? Because the earnings, though they were not that great, but some experts do believe that the earnings were actually better this time around with their estimates, and there was a mild and a small beat coming in on the NIMs as well. Help us with your take on Bandhan Bank, because of late stocks like Bandhan Bank, RBL Bank, they have been doing very well in this market.
So don't have a view on Bandhan Bank, but a lot of these banks are sort of beaten down. So for example, RBL Bank trades at an inexpensive valuation of about 0.6, 0.7 times. So any kind of an improvement from here on is a good opportunity to sort of look at some of these banks. Specific to Bandhan Bank, I don't track this stock.
Right, and Pankaj, also wanted to get your sense on Eternal's earnings that we're expecting to see later today. Two nifty companies that will be coming out with their earnings later, that's UltraTech Cement and Eternal. But Pankaj, what's your take on Eternal, given the kind of competition that we're seeing in the quick commerce, quick delivery space now? What's your take on Eternal in terms of its different segments, and how do you believe this quarter could shape up?
Again, Eternal, we don't have a coverage, but cement as an overall pack, we are liking. So, for example, JK Cement came out with pretty good set of numbers. Volume growth was about 14% compared to 11-12% what we were anticipating. Even the margin profile, EBITDA per ton has been about 1,200 plus. They're expanding on the wall putty side. So, cement as a pack, we are quite hopeful of doing well, including UltraTech Cement. In the new age businesses, we continue to like the MS space. I think any kind of an incremental news flow in terms of Chinese being allowed to sort of partner with some of these Indian companies is incremental positive. So there again, we have Dixon and Sirma, which we are sort of liking. Otherwise, we are still not chasing a lot of new age businesses at this point in time.
All right, so cement as a pack, Pankaj did share his top picks within the pack, but yes, of course, today UltraTech Cement will be in focus on the back of the earnings and whether or not they make any changes to their guidance made earlier, where they were actually looking forward for a double-digit growth number versus a single-digit growth anticipated for the street. That will be the key to watch out for. But Sharan, why don't you help us with a chart check on both of these, Eternal as well as Bandhan Bank? Because Bandhan Bank, I guess you have been tracking this stock of late. While for Eternal, how do you see the stock momentum?
So, Srishti, I'll start with Eternal. I think Wednesday, like I flagged off Axis Bank, Eternal is actually showing very similar kind of chart. And I think breakdown is on the card. It can be on back of results, bad results, or Q on Q decline in profit. I don't know. But looking at the chart, I think it can break down today with targets of 250 and 245 odd levels. On the chart, it's quite weak. Last 3-4 days seen significant selling on higher volumes, and I think result is today. So if anyone actually has a long position, I would suggest please trail your stop loss to a higher level. And post results, we can actually review this stock. But again, looking very weak, similar to Axis Bank, can see a breakdown of 5 to 10 rupees.
Okay, so that's a chart check on Eternal. Chandan, what's your take on UltraTech Cement on the charts, and if that would be your preferred pick from the cement space, or is any other cement player looking more attractive on the charts?
So, like selective cement stocks are doing well. In fact, the UltraTech is holding well above 12,250, 12,300 marks from last 10, 12 trading session. However, the momentum was missing, but the stock is holding well, and I believe any positive trigger could give the fresh breakout in the counter. As of now, till it holds about 12,200, I am expecting UltraTech to head towards 13,000 plus kind of level. But one need to look at the result, and that might give some volatility. But if you need to talk about other name, I think Dalmia Bharat could be one counter, which is holding well. In fact, on the daily and the weekly chart, it has given a consolidation breakout. The stock is doing well from last 5 months, rallied well from 1600 to 2250 marks. And on last trading session, it gave a decisive hold above 2250. So I believe Dalmia Bharat could be other name with support of 2200. It can head towards 23, 25 kind of level. So most of the cement stocks are doing well. And Dalmia Bharat could be preferred name along with Ultra Cement if results numbers are positive.
All right, so cement will be the key sector to watch out for. But Pankaj, this particular week as well, we will have a lot of these earnings, right from pharma names to some of the IT names as well, and even life insurers. Help us understand that any sector that you will be keenly looking out for, because we have seen the disappointment coming in from IT, even banking, just select counters are doing well. But what will your sectoral picks be like?
Yeah, so on IT, like you highlighted, most of the IT companies have come out with a muted set of numbers, and I think even the outlook wise, it's very difficult to sort of figure out any kind of a positive bias, given the fact that this uncertainty related to tariff is still sort of lingering. So IT in general is overall going to struggle. Again, we'll have to watch out for select names which we are positive, the likes of Coforge and Persistent. I think there we are expecting mid-single digit kind of a growth. So that is where probably selectively one can look at. We're liking the entire commodity as a pack. I already highlighted cement because last year cement growth was 4%. This year, our sense is that the overall demand growth will be 7 odd percent, supply is about 6 odd percent. So that way, structurally, the capacity utilization and all the other parameters will start looking up. So cement is another pack, is one pack which we are liking. And same goes with metals also, because metals again, so while there is the improvement quarter on quarter, we see in steel prices, but our sense is that this will keep getting better in the second half. And so that is another pack what we are sort of liking. And I think hotels as a space also came out with pretty good set of numbers. There was a sense that probably because of geopolitical issues, especially in the month of May, things will get impacted. But we have seen pretty robust set of numbers coming from Indian hotels and ITC hotels. So I think that is another space which we continue to sort of like. We are also picking up the fact that, Goa is witnessing revival in the overall tourist inflow. So both these companies, so for example, Indian hotels and ITC, and even a company like a Lemon Tree also will benefit, given the fact that all three of them have 5 to 10 properties, especially in Goa. So that pack also looks good to us. And I think if I have to add one more, then hospital is another which is looking attractive to us. So from that perspective, I think we are selectively positive in some of these names. In general, banking should do well in the second half. It lacks figure at this point in time for the near term.
Okay, so those are some of the sectors that Pankaj is liking this morning. Pankaj, thanks so much for joining us. Great chatting with you this morning. Thank you. Well, time now to get in some mid-cap bets from our technical experts. And Chandan, where are you placing your mid-cap bet morning. What's looking good from that end of the market today?
So already I discussed two picks here, SDFC AMC on buy side and HL on the sell side. To add more, I believe we need to focus on counter like LT Foods, Dawat. So stock is holding well, trading near its recent high. Even on the last trading session, it was down by 1%, but major trend is intact. So I can focus here, buy on any decline with support of 490, look for an upside target towards 520 in the counter.
All right, so those are the mid-cap bets coming in from Chandan. But Sharan, what about you? Which are your stock ideas within the mid-cap space?
So I really like the consumer durable space. I think it's seen a lot of action in the last week, and I like Whirlpool again decisively broken above the 200-day EMA with higher volumes. So I think this trend can continue. You can do a buy on dip strategy and actually buy also at current levels with a target of 1514 and 1574 with a daily closing stop loss of 1374.
Okay, so that's Whirlpool that Sharan is keeping on his radar this morning. But another stock, Chandan, that's going to be in focus today is going to be Geo Financial. They formed a 50-50 joint venture company with Allianz Europe BV, that's Allianz, for carrying a reinsurance business in India. Chandan, any chart check on Geo Financial?
So major trend of the counter is positive. In fact, in last 5 months, the stock rallied well from 200 to 335 levels. However, in last 1 week, we have seen a corrective move from 335 to 315 kind of level. But major trend is positive. I believe with higher base of 300, Geo Finance has potential to rally towards 335 to 345 marks.
All right, so that's about Geo Financials. We will definitely look out for this particular stock as well. But just on Friday, Sharan, we have seen even Bajaj Finance shooting up. Almost a 2% jump is what we have seen on that stock as well. And the earnings are due this particular week itself. Help us understand, how do you see the stock on the move?
So Srishti, again, a very strong chart, almost at a breakout level of a descending trend line. If it starts trading about 945 on a 15-minute candle, at least at a closing basis, I think it can retest its previous swing high of 980. On Friday, again, very strong candle, higher volumes in the previous last 5 days. So it shows clear accumulation happening in the stock. But again, whenever someone thinks this is a buy, it starts correcting the very next day or the day after. So I would suggest if anybody is long at the current price, do keep a stop loss of 915 on a daily closing basis.
Right, okay, about a minute left for market open. Chandan, if we could get a quick chart check on Havells, another earnings candidate today. Polycab reported its numbers last week and good set, and the stock was doing well. For Havells, what's the chart looking like?
So yes, I'll be having more positive on the Polycab, which looks strong for 7200 levels. But on reply on Havells, I believe consolidative move is there. Multiple supports are visible near 1480, but at the same time, hurdle is at 1550. So we need to play the trading range between 1480 to 1550 kind of levels.
All right, that's the chart check coming in on